Hi everybody, same here, different video. I want to talk about narcissistic manipulation tactics. This one in particular is one known as being a powerful dependent or powerful dependence. It's also known as basically victim play or just faking weakness. I'll give you an example. So a non-narcissistic example, just a normal example, is something girls will do fairly frequently with boyfriends. Like, oh, look at the puppy, it's so cute, or something like, oh, this bag of groceries is so heavy. I can't lift heavy stuff. Just the little chivalrous things that girls like to see men do is a form of powerful dependence. It's called powerful dependence because you're pretending to be the weak one for something that you fully have the ability to do, but by playing the role of being weak, somebody comes in to either feel strong, look strong, or get some validation in some way, shape, or form that, I'm the man, I'm a gentleman. Come in and here, let me get that for you, sweetie. Right? So that's a non-narcissistic, non-abusive example of powerful dependence. However, an abusive form of it is, I'll give a good example from my personal life and experience, was she, from the very beginning, started to have back problems and could no longer work due to back problems and was always staying at home. She was always saying, I'm sorry I'm at home. She was saying, this is really bothering me. I feel useless. I feel like I should be helping you. Even would break down and cry about it sometimes, like, I'm just so useless. And we're broke and poor because of me. And it all turned out to be fake, as it turns out. She was more than content to be broke as long as she didn't have to work. Some people are just like that, and she was one of those people. And so I took it as being a serious back problem, and I up and moved. We moved 4 hours to the big city, in this case Houston, to see proper doctors and get her back fixed and treated. Well, as it turned out, treatment after treatment somehow didn't work. The best treatments were the ones that got her prescription drugs and muscle relaxers, and she was happy with those until the doctor would stop writing the script. And then she would go right back to being, miserable and broken and all of this. And at the time, I recognize this now. I didn't recognize it then. After we tried traditional medicine, we went non-traditional, went to a chiropractor. The chiropractor took some x-rays, showed us the x-rays. I still have copies of these x-rays. She said, your back's really not that bad, this is fixable. So we're like, oh, good, thank God, that sounds perfect. Well, it turns out that was a threat to her bread and butter. So coincidentally, as the treatments continued, she was making progress, saying how much better she felt, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then out of nowhere, all of a sudden, the treatments were causing more pain and causing more trouble. And suddenly this chiropractor didn't know what they were doing. And yes, I do realize that can happen, but let me tell you about how this situation ended before you jump down my throat about talking about chiropractic. After so many months of treatment, we did a reevaluation. We did another x-ray. The x-ray of her neck, your neck is supposed to have like this normal like curvature, like a 45-degree curve, like a C. Her neck was actually, it looked like if you had a stack of books and knocked it forward, like her neck was stiff, straight, and leaning forward. And it didn't have this curve back. And I can still remember when the chiropractor looked at it, she was absolutely baffled. And she goes, this doesn't make any sense. She goes, your neck has actually gotten worse. It used to be a positive 37-degree curve, which is supposed to be 45, so that's really minor. And she says, it's gone from being a positive 37 to a negative 13, which means it's completely curving the wrong way forward. And she says, your neck is consistent with somebody who's been in a car accident and received whiplash or some other form of injury. And I remember the look on her face, and at the time, because I was under the narc spell, she was bastardized as being an idiot chiropractor, not knowing what she was doing, ineffective chiropractic care, all that stuff. But I remember when she looked at it, and the way she looked down at the file, and she gently closed the file, like if she were to put too much force on it, like it would just shatter. And she goes, I'm sorry, but at this point, I'm no longer going to be able to treat you. Your condition is beyond what can be treated with chiropractic care. And I'm sorry, you're going to need to go see an orthopedist at this point. Hold on. I'll be out in a minute. Go away. I'll be back in a minute. Okay. So, at that time, because she knew what she was doing, and I have no proof that she intentionally injured herself, because this was back in 2007, 2008, I want to say. Yeah, it was around 2008. So it's been 10 years, but I remember that from the chiropractor. I remember the look on her face. I remember the way she closed the file. I remember how odd it would be that a doctor would, especially a chiropractor, when they preach so much against orthopedics and traditional medicine. This chiropractor in particular did. She was all about holistic medicine and the holistic approach. Jettisoned us out of chiropractic entirely and into orthopedics, and even set us up with a reference to an orthopedist. Now, circumstances lead me to believe that she may have done something to it herself, because if her back is suddenly better, she knew that she was going to have to get a job and go work. But the whole time that she was a stay-at-home wife, she was always complaining about being miserable, being bored, being lonely, feeling useless. Even got her on antidepressants. She took antidepressants, and then she would take them for a while, and then she'd say, oh, I think I'm better. Well, I can discontinue. I'm like, no, because then you're just going to be depressed again. Yeah, but no, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. And for the life of me, couldn't talk her out of it. She would stop, and then she'd go back to being miserable, have to go back to the doctor, get back on medicine, and then whenever she would discontinue the antidepressants, she'd be like, oh, I just feel terrible, like the brain zaps. I mean, those are a real thing, but it's sort of like, okay, after the second or third rodeo with this, you know what you're in for, you know what to expect, and you're choosing to get on the medicine again, and then choosing to get off the medicine again, to have something to complain about. And whenever I was at work, she was texting me constantly while I was at work, distracting me at work. If I didn't respond, I'd get these texts, hello, 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 where are you? So I was in a meeting. What's up? Well, I didn't hear from you for 15 minutes. Like, she would sit there and time how long it would take, and just be horribly distracting. And I lost job after job because of that, and as narcissists are, that was all to her glory and her benefit, because that was keeping me weak, keeping me with her. I felt obligated to stay with her because she needed me, because she couldn't work. Although she wanted to work so bad, she wanted to get her back fixed so bad, But she was so lonely and so miserable that she needed medicine. But now that I'm on medicine, I don't think I need the medicine. I want to get off. And oh, the brain zaps are so terrible. And oh, I'm more miserable than before. I need to get back on medicine. And I take medicine and hey, I'm better. So I should get off the medicine. And oh, the brain zaps. And oh, this is terrible. And oh, I'm so depressed and I feel useless and I need to get on antidepressants. Again? Yeah, I know, I'm sorry, I'm not blah, 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 and get on the medicine, and hey, I feel better now, and I think I should stop taking the medicine. Are you serious? Yeah, I don't like this medicine. It's the same medicine you just said you liked. I know, but I just don't like this medicine. I think I should get off of it. Really? Because that worked so well last time? I feel like you're judging me. And again, off the medicine, right? And it got to the point where eventually we had surgery to fix her back. And then there's no denying that. But then after the surgery, then she wanted a tummy tuck, and she made the case for that as well. From the, oh, I just feel so self-conscious, you know. In the narcissistic manner in which they go about doing things, right? It's normal to feel self-conscious if you've had a child about that, but pushing it so far to the point where you're manipulating somebody into getting the surgery is a little far-fetched. She had the surgery, and then after the surgery, because she no longer could complain about her back, it turned into anxiety and panic attacks, which I fully understand those are real, but I can also tell when they're being faked, and she was faking them. But right off the bat, after her surgery, I took a full 2 weeks off of work to support her and help her. And for 2 full weeks, I stayed at home, and things were fine and normal. I went back to work. First day back at work, she's having a panic attack at 2:30 in the morning. So I went back to work on a Monday. Wednesday night, she wakes up in the middle of the night panicking, saying there's something wrong with her heart and that she needs to go to the emergency room. And my first thought was, well, no, nothing's wrong with your heart. But you say something's wrong, we'll go. So I had to go wake up my son, who was 1, maybe 2 years old at the time. Drove her, got the child up in the middle of the night. Drove to the emergency room as a family. They came back and they said, we did find a heart murmur, but here's the thing about it is it's genetic. It's from birth. You've had this from birth, and these things are never fatal. So what you've had is a panic attack. So here's some Klonopin. Next time you start to feel a panic attack come on, take Klonopin and wait 20 minutes. If you're still having symptoms after 20 minutes, then we want you to come back to the ER. But otherwise, if you get panic, take the Klonopin, and it should calm you down until you can set an appointment if you want to know more about this murmur, right? So present from birth, never fatal. The following night, she has another panic attack, and I say take a Klonopin. No, I don't think it's going to work. Take the fucking Klonopin. You know, and she's like, I want to go to the ER right now. Something's wrong. Take the goddamn Klonopin. So she takes it, and then like 2 minutes later, she's like, I don't think it's going to kick in time. They just said it's a panic attack, that they're not fatal, that the only thing they found with your heart is not fatal. Wait 20 fucking minutes. No, I'm going to go now. I'm like, well, no, you need to stay here and wait the 20 fucking minutes like they said to do. And she's like, I can't believe you don't support me. And she's like, am I just going to have to drive myself? And so I was like, well, yeah. So she goes and she drives herself a second time, and sure enough, same thing, it's another panic attack. Well, from then on, she warped the reality of what happened from 2 trips down to 1, to having a heart murmur and heart problems that I just refused to listen or pay attention, and forced her to drive to the ER on her own because she was having heart murmurs and tachycardia, which is just a fast heartbeat. Tachycardia is not a real medical condition. And she smeared me all over with all of our friends for that. And I'm almost out of time. That's powerful dependence. I'm going to talk in another video about what you can do about it. But I hope my personal story has helped you. I hope it rings familiar to you. And I hope it helps you identify if and when you're being subjected to powerful dependent manipulation. Thank you and good night.